iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racing enthusiasts all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. The car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and racing teams. Our skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly racing series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 200,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Participate in solo races, championship seasons, and hosted in league events with AI Racing. With a rapidly expanding catalog of 70-plus cars and 85-plus tracks from real-world racing series, test your abilities with challenging computer-based competition. Additional partners include IMSA, the World of Outlaws, and Supercars, allowing members to participate in their very own Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, Sebring 12-Hour, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
The circuit to Barcelona, Catalonia. It's one of Europe's busiest tracks, playing host to high-profile rounds of Formula 1, MotoGP, and becoming, of course, the seasonal winter home for F1 teams as they test their new cars and drivers. But tonight, it plays host to round 7 of Season 2 of the UKSR Multi-Class Championship. Let's get started. Hello and welcome. I am Tim Cox and going to be with you every step of the way. Coming up in around about 10 minutes time here on the channel. We've got qualifying for you. Of course, usual format. If you've been with us all season, this will be covering a lot of what you already know. But if you're new with us, welcome along. Of course, first taking the track, GTP, they'll be all out on track. No low qualifying here for 10 minutes. Then it'll be the turn of LMP2 for their 10 minutes before we round things out. With GT3, after half past the hour, we'll go racing. 1 hour this evening. I wanted a cracker. It is going to be, I'm sure, this classic circuit. And, of course, let's not mention that wretched last chicane. It's gone. It's deleted from our lives, thank goodness. Which just means it's going to make even more action and more grueling coming down into turn 1. Let's take a look at the calendar now. As I mentioned, 60 minutes, round 7. How have we come to be here already? It only seems 5 minutes ago. We were only just across the border in Portugal at Portimao, or Algarve as it's known in iRacing terms. Yeah, Nürburgring. Before we headed across to the Americas for 2 rounds at Daytona. The first of one of 2 90-minute races. It's the other one of that coming up next week here on the channel from Le Mans in France. Before we headed to Motorsport and then across the Pacific into Japan after Fuji before returning back to America 1 week ago at Road America. Before back to Europe. Transatlantic as always. And we head into Barcelona tonight. But let's have a look into championship standings now. And, well, what can we say about GTP? Other than Patrick Thompson of Apex Racing Academy. Well, Academy means learning, but this guy's, well, he's been schooling everyone else, hasn't he, realistically? 164 points. Does have a drop score of, I believe, 0 in amongst that, though. So that could play effect come the final round. Austin William Camille, big leap up in points for him. He's on to 153 for Effect Simulation. His teammate Josh Wilson just behind him in second, but he is in third. But he's only 1 solitary point at this moment in time ahead of Olympus's Daniel Sedgley, who has, ironically, his teammate behind him, Thomas Cope. Bit of a cut adrift at the moment, but he's tied on points for 5th with Ben Cullen, another one of those Effect Simulation card, that from the Carbon outfit. Then it comes first to the ProTech cars, the Cadillac of Sam Sherwood in 7th, Cy Anthony for UKSR, the front runner in the Porsches, everything above him incidentally running the Acura. And yes, a bit tight for points there. Still could climb up to 5th, potentially could Cy. Aaron McGregor and Ryan Moles, the 2 other ProTech entries. Well, they'll round out your top 10. Let's head down into LMP2 Pro now. There we go. Got that clicked away. Lovely stuff. And Emil Koopmans. Well, what can we say about this guy? Oh, so dominant. And I think realistically, going to be your heads-on favourite. I can tell you as well, we've only got 2 LMP2 Pro drivers with us tonight. One of them is Koopmans. Simner not registered in the session yet. Still chance to catch Koopmans, but I think realistically, when you look at countbacks and take into account those drop scores, it's going to be very, very hard for him to overtake the Dutchman. Simon Bamber, Effect Simulations Carbon, he's in 3rd, and realistically, he's in with a solid shout of taking 2nd away from Simner. Hugoden 4th, Busby there, slight typo in the points. He's got slightly less than 111, but hey, he's there in spirit, and, well, if he was still with us, God bless him, he would be right at the top, undoubtedly. John Williams, one of the drivers who is with us tonight from, the 2 with Koopmans from LMP2 Pro. So he's going to haul in a big hog of points tonight. Aaron Ty, we haven't seen for a few rounds now. Down into LMP2 Pro Am, and Nathan Willoughby. A lot of calls for this guy to move up into Pro, although I'm certain he does not want that. And with that commanding championship lead, James Ackland missed the opening round, so one of his drop scores is 0. So, that as long as he turns it to the rest of the round, he could take the fight to Willoughby. But it needs a... Well, I mean, realistically, Willoughby's been pretty solid all season long. I mean, that's going to be a real tough one for Ackland. But if anyone can do it, he can. Jason Foreman, well, still potentially in with the shout, although one of the drivers, I'm just looking down through the list at the moment, who isn't with us tonight. So I think realistically, his chance of taking that win, I think that's out the window now. 2nd from Ackland, possibly, but it's going to be hard to be seen. I think realistically, come the end of the season, 4th place Jack Barker is probably more in line to take that position. Connor Craven, he is in 5th with Pollock, Collicott, Marone, Pay and Sabas. Obviously, since the overround says they're right down the bottom. Let's head down into GT3 now. Kicking things off with Pro, and it's Tiki Simsport at the front. I mean, they've dominated the front of GT3 and certainly GT3 Pro. 159 points. I mean, Martin Tilley in that Corvette for Tiki Simsport Tour. Could he take it away from him? I mean, I don't think so. I think Davis is going to hold on to that one. Watch Curse of the Commentator to kick in with that. Daniels versus Tilling for 2nd, though. I think that could be interesting, and that could go all the way down to the line in 1 week's time when we head to Le Mans, because he's only 3 points behind. Nathan Law, one of the front runners earlier on, right up there, but has dropped down to 4th now. I think his chances of getting into the top 3 is going to be really slim. Likewise, Casper Tunstead, who's ties on points with him in 4th. McGurk in 5th with Taylor, Jones, Brockner, and Weston rounding out the top 10 there. Let's head down into... I've lost my mouse. There it is. Pro-Am. Bosch. That's Ruben Bearings for DCW, out in front by 10 points now over Alan Leather, who's in second for the second week running, having taken that away from 3rd place Sean Cranley Swash. I mean, that Mustang has been flying all season. But, I mean, never say never. I mean, there's only a point separating them, and there's only 10 points between themselves and Bearings. So, I mean, could it happen? I think GT3 Pro-Am is one category where that could happen potentially, because it's just been such a lottery realistically. James Conley for UKSR, he's in 4th, only 5 points behind Currently Soft. Can he disrupt them? He had a really good run out last time at Road America, so you never quite know really, do you, in that Ferrari, what he could achieve. Sharples 5th with Davis, Windsor, Murray, Anstis and Robson to round out the top 10 there. It's really close points as well. I mean, it's just look at it. I mean, it's up to 6 points. 6th place, John Davis. There's, only 14 points separating himself, and 10th place, Dave Robson. So I think we could see a little bit of a change there come the end of the season. Heading into the teams' championships now, an effect simulation car, but no surprise there on 305 points and top of the standings. DCW though, I mean, can they catch them? You never know, really. You never know. I mean, they have got Willoughby within Carbon, so I think with the strong results he's been putting in, it's going to take a lot to overhaul that points difference. But I can never say never. UKSR, they are in 3rd with the 2 sister effect teams, Club Sport, and then the main team 4th and 5th. Both very close to those two, only separated by a point. I mean, could we see 2 effect teams in the top 3 of the team standings? I think that's really possible. Olympus Titan, they are in the 6th with DCW Yellow in 7th. Tiki Protec and Tiki Simsport rounding out your top 10 there. But well, let's get we've got not too bad. We've got another 3 minutes. We can squeeze in the weather, and well, as we kick in, you can see it's a beautiful day here in Barcelona. This certainly is in the UK in real life as well. I mean, are we going to have rain come the end of the season? It was expected, at least certainly at Canada and Motorsport, that we would have rain. It was going to come, but it never did. It was wet all week in official, so they called a few teams out. Of course, it was on at the same time as England losing in the European finals. Yeah, say no more about that one. Let's move on that one really quickly. But yeah, look at it. Beautiful day here in Barcelona, and well, sure that's going to not really affect things too much. And, well, as we get now stuck into proceedings, you see, at the top of the hour, it's only 2 minutes away from qualifying beginning. As I mentioned earlier, GTP, top of the standings. So, top of the hour even. They'll be in first for 10 minutes, followed by LMP2 at 10 past the hour. 20 past the hour, it's GT3 for half past the hour. We go racing for 1 hour. It's going to be a cracker. I know it. You know it. We all know it. I'd love to hear from you, as always, over in chat. And let's get trackside. I'll tell you what, we've got a few drivers out on track there. Looking at 31 runners and riders at the moment, although I've had a few latecomers of late, so expect a few people to squeeze in. And also, we've got another driver in LMP2 Pro as well, in the form of Simon Bamber of Effect Simulations Carbon. Quick sip of the drink. Itself lubricated, ready for a great evening of racing. There is Bamba. So, as it's at the moment, you're guaranteed in LMP2 Pro a position inside the top 3. But in practice, I can tell you that this is one of the 2 drivers that's beat everyone. As things stand at the moment, it is Nathan Willoughby. Well, there you go. It's just gone faster, in fact, over James Acklam. Get us some lovely graphics. So you can see he's top of the timing tires. This guy's really put in some laps. Nearly more than anyone bar 2 drivers as Josh Wilson. 33 laps of practice, only beaten by 2 GT3 drivers. And also, they're top of their standings as well. This is one of them, Tiki Simsports Copa's Jacko Taylor. He's second in the amount of laps completed in practice. And at the top of the standings, well, it's Ruben Bearings of DCW Blue in that Lamborghini. There he is. Look at that, 20 seconds away from qualifying beginning. As I said, as always, love to hear from you in chat. We'll put in some live timings as we're about to get underway with qualifying very shortly. We'll get that slapped across in there for you. And who's going to take these, well, penultimate pole positions? That's a big question to ask, isn't it, realistically? Who will take them there? Well, there you go. As everyone disappears off the track, checker flag out. And we get ready for qualifying. There you go. A bit of a blink there as it transitions across from practice into the qualifying session. Drivers heading out. There's a few of them. To get ready for GTP qualifying. Wilson's going to be the first driver, I think, across the line, isn't he? Yes, he is, followed by his fellow Effect Simulations driver, Austin William Campbell. GTP, it's all, I'm scanning down, other than Sherwood, who hasn't taken to the track yet. It is an all-accurate affair this evening. None of the no Porsches, so that's going to play. So Anthony, he could have picked up a couple of places potentially, but won't this evening. Getting really towards the, well, I say getting towards the business end. We are at the business end of the season with only 2 rounds to go, including tonight. Turning out round the back of the circuit now. Through heading through Europa Car at the moment. Then down into New Holland up next. Final corner, really winding things up here, Wilson. Head out on his first lap. Batteries full, ready to go. Let's go with qualifying here from Barcelona. Who's going to take it? Will it be Wilson? Will it be Thompson? Or Campbell? They are my 3 bets for this evening. Will I be proved wrong? 3 sectors here, which makes life a little bit easier for the commentators. Try and stay on top of things. Although we don't know, with the micro sector, it's quite handy because you can tell exactly what's going on. Wilson, naturally, of course, first one across the line. Goes fastest of anyone in Sector 1 at the moment. Although Campbell has just gone faster by 2 tenths. Just dropping it down into Worth now. I know, apologies, that's into Seat. Now building up in towards Worth and then Campus. There's Worth. Those sausage curbs on the outside there. That could prove to be treacherous in traffic. Drivers trying to make their way through, squeeze on by. So we're going to clip them and that could spell catastrophe. It's a real danger zone. Down into Lacaxa. A really tricky part of the circuit. I can never get this one right. Ben Cullen's just gone as fast as anyone in Sector 2 for Effect Simulation Carbon. But it's Van der Waals. He's on a flyer. So he's got the fastest of anyone in Sector 1 and Sector 2. He went a whole second faster than Wilson did. That is a real stark thing. So there you go, time on the board, 130.86. But it's this guy who we really need to pay attention to. He's a man on the move at the moment. Van der Waals. Thompson goes top, but I think we've got a new best time coming in here. There you go, by 3 tenths of a second for the Olympus Esports Atlas driver. Bang! Sherwood going to be last across the line. He's just around the back of the circuit at the moment. Come out of Caxa through towards Europa Car. So distinguished, that thunderous note of that Cadillac. But it's Thompson who's on a flyer at the moment. He's gone fastest in Sector 1. Sherwood goes third, though, in that Cadillac for ProTech. That 171. Really, really moving at the moment. But what are we going to have in Sector 2? It's another fastest of anyone for the Apex Racing Academy 29. Just needs to hold it together. And I think we're going to see a new pole position time. I can tell you that Van der Vaals is not going faster. It's got some greens in there, but it's not faster than anyone. Wilson reclaims that provisional pole position. Campbell displaces him. Thompson across the line. That should need time. Wow, 0.6 of a second. That is a real moment in the sand. Van der Vaals, though, he parks it up. He's done with his lap, his first set of runs. Only good enough the third day off the first round. So at the moment, it's Apex Effect, Olympus Effect, Effect Protect after the first round of qualifying here in GTP. Well, they haven't said that. Sherwood is still completing his lap as he heads for Europa Car. Down into New Holland we go. Crosses the line. It's an improvement in time, but still remains 6th in class. About just over a 10th off of Ben Cullen's pace as Campbell then parks the car there. Van der Vaals still coming round. He's on his out lap at the moment. Definitely one to watch. The initial pace setter of the first round of flying laps. Well, Thompson took it in the second wave. Brian Walker, good evening to yourself over on YouTube chat. Of course, we are live over on Twitch and YouTube this evening, as always. Give us a like and a share and subscribe and all that jazz. And a follow. Follow on Twitch, isn't it? Of course. No, follow. Yes. You can subscribe as well on Twitch. Now, how they lined up. This is what's going to be. Wilson won't want to be at the front. Clearly was helping to tow Campbell around. But he's improved, hasn't he, on his last lap? So, displacing them with looking at Apex Effect, Olympus Effect, ProTech. Just in front of him, that's Ben Cullen going through in the foreground of shots for Effect Simulation Carbon. It's going to give Van der Vaals a nice little turn. Exactly what he's going to look for here. Certainly through those faster part of the circuit, this being one of them. Really easy to have the car under steering wave. You really slide it outside through Renault. Down into Repsol now, which just seems to last an absolute eternity, especially when you're chasing someone down. No improvement from Cullen or Van der Vaals. Thompson still in the pits, interestingly. Is this going to be one run and done? I mean, that was a really strong initial time. Maybe feeling like he can't go any faster. Still, I mean, half a second faster than the rest of the field. Over a second and a half. So half a second and a half. That doesn't really make too much sense, but we'll run with it. Van der Vaals, you see, just backing out there, just trying to generate a bit more heat in the tyres at the moment. And talking of heat, etc., let's take a little look at track temperatures at the moment. 27 degrees Celsius. It is cloudy out there. Those eagle-eye viewers, see my little weather report. We'll just spot those on the horizon. But, yeah, it's going to affect the tyres a little bit, but not too much. I mean, another big question, can Thompson go the whole race distance without stopping? Remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. James C. Jeansbowl. What a name. What a name. Undoubtedly be freeing his keys in the bowl tonight over on Twitch. Good evening to you, sir. Van der Vaals, personal best in Sector 1. But it's not purple. It is faster than anyone else, though, and around him. So it is looking promising at the moment. Could we see him join Thompson on the front row, who's still in the pits, and he won't get out? So looking like one session and done for the Danish driver. Sherwood improving at the moment. He's down in 6th, and he'll love to move up at least a row into 4th. Or 3rd, ideally, in that Cadillac. No improvement, no, in the middle sector, but Cullen goes faster, interestingly. These two trading blows at the moment, 4th and 5th, respectively. Vandervoort's only 1600ths of a second, though, behind Campbell and that Effect Simulations Acura. 555 could be moving down a place on the grid, or even potentially 2, because Cullen was within striking range. Sherwood, another green sector. Cullen across the line, though. And once an improvement in time, but he's going to remain where he is. Van der Vols as well. Improves in time and goes, well, look at that. Exactly 100th of a second slower than Campbell. And Campbell lives to fight another day. He's coming across the line. Oh, well, that's gone very wrong, hasn't it? That's gone very wrong indeed for the Effect driver. Oh, and a big snap there. A snap, crackle, and pop. And one wrecked Acura. That 555. Well, it's only worthy of the bin now. But that's we're done. I think we're done here. We are done in GTP. Next up, it's LMP2. And we'll show you everyone's times there. There you go. We've got the whole set. Wilson did stay out, and he did go faster, but it wasn't enough to overtake Thompson. 127.85 for the Swedish driver. His fellow Scandinavian, though, 127.38, and that was the pole position time. 2 laps and done. Wilson took 6 laps to try and beat it and couldn't get it done. Could only get to, what, half a second away. But it's LMP2, as I mentioned, and that's where our focus draws to. 3 pro drivers with this evening. Williams in the 2, and then 2 Effect Simulations car. The Club Sport Outing and the 911, the 912 of Carbon, Koopmans and Bamber, respectively. But we've got, obviously, as you can see on screen right now, that is Collicott of DCW in the 05 LMP2. Also got the sister car, the 21, being piloted by Alistair Pollock. And we've got James Ackland. That'll be one to watch out for. One of 3 privateers across the whole of LMP2. One of 2 in LMP2 Pro-Am. Along with Jack Barker. And then we've got the 88 of Effect Simulations Carbon. Nathan Willoughby on board that car. So who takes LMP2? And there we go, Twitch on chat are live. Some Skippy. Let's go Effect, boys. By putting in some Mass Effect, certainly going to try to in LMP2. Couldn't get the top honours in qualifying in GTP. But who will take? Can they restore honour in LMP2? Your money's got to be on them, surely. Certainly Willoughby for top honours in Pro-Am, and Koopmans for top honours in Pro. The first sectors, just looking down the times at the moment, fastest driver at the moment is this guy. This is the 7, the privateer of James Acklam. What about those middle sectors, though? I hear you cry, Tim, and well, I can tell you on that one, it is in fact Nathan Willoughby. 2 Pro-Am drivers really taking the fight to the pros this evening. And Koopmans goes top with that provisional time. There you go, 130.318. Collicott slides in there. Williams, the 2 pro drivers at the top. But I get the feeling this could be a really strong time to challenge them from the 7 of Acklam. There you go. Yes, it is. And he goes to pole in LMP2 by 1700ths of a second. Right. Well, all eyes are surely going to draw to, well, this guy. But on his first lap time deleted. Likewise for Barker. Bamber's going to be the last car off across the line in the first wave of lap 1s. South. I'm being told that one of our drivers is South African. I don't have anyone down as being South African. I'm sure I'll get corrected in a minute. You might be on about Emil Koopmans, but he's racing under a Dutch flag, incidentally. And also, incidentally, Simon Bamber, again, another driver to have his first lap deleted. Koopmans on another flyer, improving sectors 1 and 2. Collicott going faster. Likewise with Williams as well. Oh, no, some Skippy is. There you go. Also over on Twitch. God, you've been busy over on Twitch, haven't you? Patrick Thompson just popping in and saying, what a lovely track this is. Well, definitely, with that lap time you stopped in there, showcasing that one. And Koopmans reclaims that provisional pole by 11 hundredths of a second. Barker up into third before dropping down to fourth, displaced by Williams. But all eyes again drawn to James Acklam. And there you go, reclaims it once more. So the top of the pile in LMP2. Pollock about to come across the line. Mixed bag from him. Improvement in Sector 1. No improvement in Sector 2s, but it is an improvement in... No, it's not. It just updates. A little bit late, but it updated. He goes 3/10 slower on his second laps, but Bamber going faster. He needs this lap. The only driver without a time so far. First lap deleted due to off-track limits. Through New Holland. Here we go as well. Dancing on the AstroTurf. It's Bamber in that 9:12, and it's only good enough there for 6th in LMP2. Parks it up on pit exit, ready to go again. As we go in the final round, the final 5 minutes of LMP2 qualifying. Acklam top. I told you to watch out for those Pro-Ams. And right now, he is preventing a double clean sweep of LMP2 poles for effect. Koopmans top of Pro, but incidentally behind this Pro-Am driver. Willoughby, though, look, 4 thousandths of a second slower than Koopmans. It's nearly 2 Pro-Ams on the front row. As the 88 goes on by there, that is Willoughby, who we were just mentioning about. And is this a bit of mind games, a bit of tactics being played out here by Acklam, where he's just letting him on by? We'll get to find out. Drivers out on their laps at the moment. Jack Barker's going to be the first one around. What do you got in the first sector? Jack, the privateer, in that 163 car. About to complete it, and it's no improvement in Sector 1 for him. We look back to Koopmans, and it's no improvement for him either. Finally, another driver with work to do is Willoughby. And I can tell you that he has gone faster in Sector 1. It's a personal best. Looking to get himself right alongside his championship rival, Acklam. Koopmans, though, and Barker both improving in that middle sector. Going faster. But Willoughby about to complete that middle sector now. I tell you, it's ever so slightly slower than... It's not a personal best either. Slightly slower than Koopmans. He needs a mammoth final sector here. He needs to find a 10th. Has he found it? As it updates, and he's just found enough. Look at that, 5 thousandths of a second between himself and Acklam. As we look back to Willoughby, Acklam will be across the line next. He's really backed out of this one, finding a bit of space amongst himself. And Willoughby goes slower. What about Acklam? Here he is across the line. A 1:34.76, so he's really backed out of that lap. Bamber well down still, and well, we see the oversteer there as he headed round Lecaxa. Practically drifting through. he going to provide us with across the line now? No real improvements, only in that final sector, and he goes slower than his previous best. Everyone looking like they're looking at 2 build-up laps here. There's no real improvements going on at the moment. Wow, there you go. Ackland parks it. So he's come off track. Let's take a little look exactly what happened to him. Oh, ran it wide. Through Worth. Was it worth it? Well, the answer to that is no. So that's him out of qualifying. GT3 not far away. I can tell you that that one is, there you go, starting to get into the cars on pit road. Koopmans improves in time, 1:30.05 as he heads into the pits. Willoughby across the line. I don't think it's going to be an improvement in time for him. No, he goes 200ths of a second slower. As GT3 head out of to the track now. Taylor bringing out the field. And that Tiki Simsport Copa Porsche 911. So we've got Bamber out on track. And, well, it's an improvement so far. But how much has he improved by? That's the question. At the moment, he's looking strong. I think he could pick up a couple of places here. Certainly displace those 2 privateers of Williams and Barker, who are 4th and 5th. But there's no improvement in the final sector. He slips up there. And he goes slower. All that hard work undone in the final sector for Bamber. He starts last of the 3 pro drivers. But it's Emil Koopmans. He tops the timing sheets. Williams is still out there. I don't think this is going to really improve too much, if at all. I was going to put some more live timings into a link into the chat descriptions. Drop that across there now for you. As we're going to have to get GT3 underway, see everyone's sector times. See exactly what I'm seeing behind the scenes. There's an improvement there from Williams, but remains 4th, 2nd row of the grid for him. Right, let's head down into GT3. GTP and LMP2 decided. Thompson and Koopmans on top in those 2 categories. Sedgley has joined the session. Adding another GTP, so he's going to start 7th and last in that category. So who gets to claim this one? Down into Elf, turn 1. And that Mustang. Another real sight for the senses. Certainly the eardrums, that Mustang, that 5-litre V8. Wasn't too sure when I saw this car come out and saw it being tested. The way that the spoiler attaches into, well, pretty much sort of halfway up that rear window. Wasn't too sure about it. It's weird how things absolutely grow on you. I mean, look at the halo in F1 and, well, just single-seaters in general. Bizarre. The purist claims, well, what are we doing? We're ruining the looks of the cars. Now, when you see a car without them, it's just... The drivers look so exposed. It looks really, really weird. Cranley Sosh being absolutely hunting down there by the 91 DCW of Ruben Bearings, really pushing him along here. These 2 first, well, Bearings first in Pro-Am, 3rd in Pro-Am, having been in 2nd place for, well, all about the current round and the previous round at Road America in the championship, Cranley Swash. Anstey Mustang winding up, going for it. Couple of corners left to go. We won the first drivers across line. Giacatelli, as we mentioned, the first driver across. Tillings goes 2nd. The Tiki Simsport 1-2, but they're the only 2 drivers to complete laps. Cranley Swash were well off the pace in that opening lap. 2 seconds down. And likewise for Daniels as well. 2 Team Potato cars working together. The 2 Corvettes. It's the 812 first. which has its time deleted. Anstis, though, getting a time on the board. He goes 4th of the GT3 Pro-Am drivers. 8th on the GT grid. Make that 9th for Sharples and what? Move up the order. Porsche looking very strong this evening. 1st, 3rd and 4th on the grid. So only that Corvette disrupting that lockout the front 2 rows for Porsche. That being in the hands of Martin Tilling for Tiki Simsport Toa. Opening laps deleted for Windsor being one of the ones you mentioned. Brockner, another one. Hartley in the Tiki Simsport Ferrari and Bearings as well. We did see him run wide when he was following Cranley Swash. Jacko Taylor going faster once more though. And he was, look at that, 8/10 of a second faster than Tilling. Oh, well no, it's all gone wrong. The curse of the commentator. That might be enough for him to hold on. Tilling just heading on round now. And that Corvette, oh, that's cut a bit fine. I think that time could be deleted. Really testing the track limits out for a Europa car. And it's no improvement anyway from him. Another Corvette, second of the Corvette runners in terms of qualify. Here's McGurk of DCW. Bearings up to 3rd. Daniels into 2nd. McGurk, what's he got? He moves up into 8th. Solid lap there from the Englishman. Leather improving for UKSR. Currently 2nd in that Pro-Am category. Goes top. He goes 3rd overall. In fact, Connolly, another one who's right in that Pro-Am fight. But he doesn't improve. Sorry, he improves in time, but not in position. He removes 10th. Dutton, Davis, Hartley, Brockner, Windsor, and all yet to set times. Oh, doesn't he? He's on his first flying lap here. In that solitary Audi. And talking to solitary cars, the solitary Merc of the Law goes 3rd. Joel Dutton looking like a good lap. But that's been deleted. Go again once more. This driver hoping they can string it all together once more. Jacko Taylor, your current pole sitter. 8/10 after the first round of laps. Second round is cut down to 3/10. Isn't enough though. We saw that from Thompson earlier on in GTP. About 20 odd minutes ago. He starts his first flying lap of his second run. Massive amounts of improvement in the first 2 sectors of his second attempt. Heading through towards Repsol now. Brockner goes 3rd. Taylor needs a big input now. Needs to find something if he wants to hold on to that pole position. There's no real improvements coming in at the moment for him. From a lot of our drivers either, realistically. Are we done here? Although I haven't said that, Brockner. Second sector, he is up, but it's a strong third sector. He is down ever so slightly. McGurk as well, running well. Another Olympus driver just dropping into the session. We'll now have 8 drivers in GTP. Thomas Cope joins it, so Olympus will be making up the back row in GTP. Dutton, and both his times deleted. John Davis going on his first run. There is the Wrong Stuff Corvette, that's 62. Windsor improves, he moves up into 27th. The Mustang of Cranley Swash, though, looking well down. It's all eyes focused on the Wrong Stuff Corvette. Hartley, all his times deleted so far for 3 laps. Dutton, another one. You just see him in the background there for Coyote Racing in the Audi. As Davis gets the time on the board, 1:45. Not feeling like he can go again. Here comes the Coyote Racing Audi, though. That moves up. And it's got a time on the board. Well, it will not start last, I can tell you that one. He parks that one, Joel Dutton. And a lot of the drivers looking like we're done. Yeah, there's still a few trying to improve out there. Lever's gone faster in Sector 1, though. Overlight's just lagging out a little bit at the moment. Apologies about that. Not long left in qualifying, only 2 minutes left. No, that's running well behind. It's not 28.07. I'll tell you, this is it. We are done here in qualifying. As Lever, get the last driver out on track, trying to squeeze this last lap in. And it's good enough for him to move up. He moves up into 5th, top qualifier in LMP2 Pro-Am. And keeping those championship pipes alight at the moment for him. So, apologies, slight issues with the software this evening. That's why. Not an antivirus trying to tell me that get rid of that. That it's thinking like I should be out of date, but it's not. God bless it. God bless it. Yeah, we're not far away from qualifying. From race going live. So we just round out the last couple of minutes of qualifying. Wow, what a qualifying it has been. Thompson, I think that one of the big stories to take away from that as he only putting in 1 set of runs. As we can take you through the grid now, well, I would do if my overlays hadn't completely and utterly locked themselves up. Let's try and fix that. I'll run you through the grid manually. Thompson, of course, on pole. Outstanding qualifying. Absolutely electric from him. So elements are clearly working. He's on pole with Josh Wilson joining him on the front row. Row 2 of the grid. That goes to Austin William Campbell and David van der Voors of Olympus. We'll have a bit of assistance in there from teammates, but they will be well down. Well down the order. So, might hopefully fix things. There we go. We can get things looking a little bit better. Yes, Campbell and Van der Voors on the second row of the grid. Sherwood and Cullen make up row 3. Well, row 4 joining late during qualifying. After their qualifying had happened, incidentally, the 2 Olympus cars of Cope and Sedgley. Front row in LMP2. That's Koopmans. You might need to move this to overall, in fact. There we go. Koopman's joined by the privateer James Acklam. Willoughby, well, only good for a second, just narrowly missing out there. He's got privateer and pro driver John Williams. Row 3 is another pro-am row with Jack Barker and Simon Bamber. Again, another privateer in effect row there. You'll notice as well, Eagle Eye viewers, you're guaranteed of a top 3 in GT3 Pro, sorry, LMP2 Pro. Heading down now into GT3. Jacko Taylor claiming pole. Kevin Daniels joining him on the front row. Casper Brockner and Nathan Allure make up row 2, while row 3, top qualifier in GT3 Pro Ab is Al Lever. Next to Tiki Simsport Towers, Martin Tilling. Ruben Bearings has got Carl McGurk of DC and an old seats DCW row 4, while row 5 is an all Pro-Am affair with John Watt and Darren Sharples. Row 6, Sean Cranley Swash and James Conley share a row. Well, Joel Dutton getting that late lap in qualifying in that Coyote Racing Audi is next to Team Mercedes Rob Windsor. Anstis and Davis with Simon Hartley completing the grid. Here we go, folks. Here we go. It's rounding the final corner. 911 pace car is in. Let's get ready to go racing. Round 7 from Barcelona as we're green, we're go, and we head down towards turn 1. Here we go. Who's going to get there first? It's going to be Thompson, but there's a fight on between the effect cars. Campbell through. He's got it on by. And what about LMP2? Well, they're just heading on down now. Collicott just improving. Barker just dropping down a couple of places at the start. GT3, they're underway. Well, surprisingly, those 2 Olympus cars shoved right to the back. Jacko Taylor holds on to his lead. A Cope already. Well, they're right on board with him, stuck in a GT3 quagmire of traffic. Likewise with Sedgley, he's clearing them, moving a bit further wide, right round the outside. Sedgley's trying to follow on through before he darts towards the inside. This is going to split quite a few of these guys up. It's not what they wanted whatsoever, but back up front already, Thompson is nearly a second clear of absolutely everyone. He's not hanging around whatsoever. It's more about this fight behind. Van der Waals. Wilson dropping down 2 places, all deep on the brakes, down into Lekaxa, just about holds on to that one. Also, John Williams looking like he's, well, trying to take the fight there. Moving right round the outside of Acklam, who started on the front row. Him and Willoughby have switched around positions on this opening lap. Williams trying to find a wide by just kicking a bit of dust on the exit there. Acklam fully in his sights. Is it going to dart out late on? Here it comes in the 2. Here comes the lunge. And is he going to make it sticky? Well, they still almost touch doors. They rub against one another as Acklam shoulders him on through. Says, no, you don't have it that easy. And wow, they almost make contact there as they head through Renault. And just about get away with a pair of neither wanted to give each other a reach. And here comes William again, has another look on the brace, asking questions of Acklam, who doesn't want this. It's the last thing he wants and needs. He can see Willoughby escaping up the road. That's his chance at this LMP2 Pro-Am Championship, and he wants to get after him. He doesn't want to be held up by the advances of Williams, who's trying to get on by, who's got his own aspirations. He can see Koopmans, who's escaping like mad. Bamber just behind them too. It is oh so tight in LMP2, as it always is. As Wilson's got on by. Yes, he has. I thought he had the Van der Waals. And now the Cadillac just trying to find a way through, trying to follow Wilson on by. Wilson having started on the front row with Thompson. And all that Scandinavian front row, but dropping positions early on. And already only about a third of our lap separating our leader, Thompson, from the tail end of GT3. It's not going to be long here before we start to experience those drivers onto the back. I can tell you as well that both Cope and Sedgley, the 2 Olympus cars, Lintus GPPs have both now cleared the entirety of GT3. Quite likely to be expected realistically is that Team Potato swapping around there. Ansys now ahead of Windsor. Also for a change in class as well. Not just a GT3 as a whole. Let's talking of GT3, a bit look further up. So Bearings now ahead of Leather. Leather having qualified and well, lost a lot of places in the opening stages in the UKSR Lamborghini. 657 down, what, some 3 spots so far. Having a bit of look through the field to give you, so Thompson leading GTP, Alan P2 being led by Koopmans, will be leading Pro-Am. Taylor, wow, solid performance in qualifying, still leading GT3. Bearings, as you can see at the moment, ahead in Pro-Am. Leather trying to stay in this fight, but already 3/4 of a second. And that's McGurk in that DCW Corvette just behind them, you see, as well. He's bringing Sharples and Watt along for either 2 911s. This guy's still trying to remain a tight little packed unit. This train pretty much starting at Martin Tilling, who's just starting to drop off the pace at the moment in that Tiki Simsport Toa Corvette. To say that just makes up a whole about 4/10 of Casper Brockner in pretty much one corner. A solid result so far to him, but see those gaps closing and closing on fast. We head out through the final corner as that's someone off. Yes, it is. That's McGurk. He's off. Well, is that terminal damage? He's pulled to the inside. Let's take a little look of what happened to him. Now, that's where Windsor got past Ansys. I've clicked on the wrong thing there. So McGurk, here he comes. Wow, and a big twitch there. Big moment and into the barrier. That's on the exit out of Europa car towards New Holland. And rejoining. And right down to the back of the field as well. Absolutely brutal for McGurk. Pollock, another driver's falling right off the pace in LMP2 at the moment. Meanwhile, a little bit further ahead. Barker squeeze. That's Cope. That's the recovering Olympus 64 Acura. This is, well, normally they're slotted into their allotted classes, but not obviously this evening. Which is why we've got to watch these guys come through the field bit by bit. They're going to dispatch of Collicott. Barker will be hoping he can close up a bit of the gap right now. Let's head up into GTP. Thompson leads by a whopping 4 seconds already over Campbell. Wilson well, nearly 3 seconds behind Campbell in this sister effect car. Then Van der Voorsen, Sam Sherwood in that ProTech Cadillac. Someone who's just grown into this championship. I thought, after the first couple of rounds, I thought maybe that's it. Oh, as I'm hearing of a bit of a disaster for McGurk. Something's gone further wrong for him. Take a bit of a look here, and is that him parking the car? Clearly terminal damage in there. Just trying to get out of everyone's way by going around, and he's parked it, has he? I mean, surely he would have been better off carrying on round. I'm not too sure. But he has come into the pits. Gutting for him. Absolutely devastation. Field looking quite spaced out. Pollock also into the pits in that DCW car. Another one's been looking well down at the moment. Coming through GT3 at the moment, and this battle, well, it's going to be interesting to see how they carve their way on through. And Sherwood and that caddy looking really aggressive right now. Company coming up on the back end of Team Potato. Let's ride on board. This is 1 point. Got that sausage curve to the inside right, hanging right around the outside of campus, using all of that AstroTurf, maybe a bit more as well, and puts a bit of distance between himself and Sherwood. Lovely gap emerged on the inside there. Can still stay in the fight with Wilson, who's just ahead of us at the moment. Just make him out in the front right corner of our front windscreen there. And that affects 091. Oh, big twitch. Oh, Klaus, oh, he's going to be in the wall. He's gone. Well, Van der Waals by name and Van der Waals by nature. And it goes from bad to worse for Olympus. And have I been waiting all season to say that? Yes, I have. Wow, that was a big, big moment and a big sigh of relief. Surely has come from the cockpit of that Effect Simulations 091. Sherwood up into fourth, and that ProTech caddy has got us a sniff, a chance of being on the podium. It'll be the first podium, I think, for ProTech all season long. If he can achieve that one. Head down to GT3 now. Things are starting to spice up. The traffic playing a part, as it always does. But Alula is right onto the back of Tilling. Tilling having a bit of a, well, up a couple of places, one in class. But of course running second at the moment in the championship and having to defend and taking that real defensive line there. That Mercedes of Allure, the Frenchman, trying to form the switchback. Alakaxa, but can't quite get it done there. Have to live to fight another day. Still plenty of time left in the clock. Say that, 50 minutes. We're 10 minutes of racing done already. And Brockman have been brought into the fight and running very, very, very wide there. And it's going to be 3 wide. And this is a Law's chance. He pulls alongside and he's going to have the run out of New Holland down the start-finish straight. That 50 cal soundtracker, that Mercedes V8 grunting his way past. And he pulls in before they've even reached the braking zone into turn 1. Frenchman up a spot. This getting closer as well as LMP2 starting to come through the tail end of GT3. Bamba has got Collicutt just behind him, following behind. Half a second the gap. Seji has just cleared them. Unlike Cope, he's taken a bit more time to get through the traffic. Oh, there's a spinner, and that's the Audi gone. I think that's Joel. That's the Coyote Racing Audi. Yes, it is. Joel Dutton. Well, 13 unlucky for Sun. Clearly for him tonight. As that goes around. Well, it's taking itself out of the fight. That was in the fight with for 6th place, in fact. 25th overall. Going back on, and hold on. That is Collicutt ahead of Bamba. How has that happened? Take a bit of a look here. Oh, Bamba running slow. That's a slowdown picked up by the Brits. Run aboard with Collicutt. That's the UKSR Ferrari just in front of us. Maybe encroached on it a bit too quickly. But look who's right behind us. It's Simon Bamba. Like a dog with a bone. He's not letting this one go down into turn 1. Half showing the nose. Thinks about it. Bit of traffic. Going to hold Collicutt up in that DCW LMP2 in front of us. Right round the outside we go. That's the 95 Porsche of John Watt, the privateer. Simon Bamba asking the questions. It's more like a police interrogation, and there's a fight at the apex in GT3 at the moment. That's Bearings, Leather and Sharples, the top 3 in GT3 Pro-Am. We're trying to sieve our way past at the moment. That's running very, very wide there. Goes Collicutt. Bamba's chance round the outside. Surely not. Surely not. He misses the sausage curbs with the cigarette paper's width. Oh, what a way to reclaim your position, Simon Bamber. Hats off to him. And he's going to put a bit of traffic between himself and Collicott. And now Collicott's something else to think about because Barker right onto the tail end of him. What a move from Bamber. Absolutely spectacular. I need to see that again. Something's happened to Lol, the Frenchman. Oh, no. Je ne comprends pas. You're facing the wrong way. And, well, that was fighting in the top 5 in GT3. Have a look at some replays. That's what happened to Lol. Was it LMP2 traffic or did he get distracted by it? Oh, he did. He carried too much speed in. And around he went. Let's have a look at that Bamber pass. Look at this, folks. Right round the outside. Getting the job done. Just misses the sausage curb. Perfection personified by Bamber. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Back to this fight for the top 3. Well, it's now in fact the top 4 because that is what in the Privateer 911 and 95 been brought up to the back of it. You can just see it in the background. So our top 4 in GT3 Pro-Am being led by Bearings, and it's Leather, Sharples and Watt. 2 Lambos followed by 2 Porsches. Spread out in GTP at the moment. Sedgley still stuck in LMP2 traffic. Still hasn't cleared them all. Still has Willoughby and Koopmans. Descending order in front of him. You'll notice from the scrolling places, there he goes. It goes on by now where he lies. Well, she's clumped past that clump. One picked off. Always a tricky point in this because you don't want to get involved in someone else's battle. Who wants to be the guy who took out the leader? Excuse me. Oh dear. Tried to hit mute. Couldn't do. And you just had to live my sneeze. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh dear. Right, let's head up into GTP. And Wilson cannot shake that Cadillac Protec. It's just growing into this race right now. Traffic has helped to keep them together. Wilson not able to capitalise and try to open up that gap. After, well, that's actually compressed, hasn't it? Because we had David van der Vols, that's our, well, actually one of 2 retirees, also lost the DCW Blue LMP2 of Pollock. McGurrick, talking of DCW, did get that car going again, despite being into the pits all the way back on lap 4, currently on lap 9 in GT3. Give us some idea of when that was. But Wilson, yeah, he's lost time because there was about 1.8 seconds between Sherwood and Wilson after Van der Vols crashed. And now it's down to 0.4 of a second. And so many drivers dicing with death with that sausage curb. It's looking treacherous. It's looking treacherous. Someone's going to fall foul of that at some stage, surely. Just that momentary loss of concentration. Move down further into GT3 right now. We've got a little, well, few close battles here. But this is the closest of the lot. Well, I say the closest of the lot. Maybe even an overtake about to happen. But the UKSR Ferrari of Connolly just able to hold on to that one. The Ansty Mustang not able to capitalise, just had to back out of it. twice about it. Slot back in once more. It's not quite meant to be just yet, but how much longer before it is? This has got a bit of a feeling of when, not if, this is going to happen. Thank you for the bless you over on Twitch chat. Nice, not rely on the ball to have you back. There's Thompson coming through GT3 once more. That's your race leader heading on by. And you think it might put a bit of a gap. It has extended the gap though. It's gone from a quarter of a second this time lap up to 6/10 now. Between the Mustang and dives into the pits very early on here. A little bit surprised by that one. A little bit surprised, but it's getting close at the front end of Pro-Am. And, well, there goes your leader. All GT3's cleared. And it's dropped down to, well, the top 3 rather than the top 4. What has fallen by the wayside? And Sharple's not far off behind either. The old Dusing cars and the privateer Porsches not able to keep up with the Lamborghinis through traffic. This is your top 2 also in the championship. Leather has got a chance to try and take some points off of Bearings here and close up that gap. I tell you, the gap between Sherwood and Wilson in GTP, that still remains at a constant, about half a second. It's out fluctuating about a little bit. Leather just pulls out, just shows the face of that UKSR Lamborghini. 2 Bearings. So still reminding, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere whatsoever. But Sharples is catching up a little bit. That will be Campbell. He's nearly 10 seconds down on Thompson already. That's why I had to double check my figures a little bit. And it has separated these 2. Has allowed just that momentary gap, and Sharple's now right up onto the back end of Leather. All of them being towed along, all within slipstream range of Bearings. Who heads down in towards turn 1. On board with the old Dusing cars. 777 911. You see the different lines there. Well, that's probably why, because that's Wilson in the effect simulation. Acura just heading on by, followed by Sherwood. Protex, he's still staying on the back end of Wilson. Wilson cannot do anything to shake him whatsoever. The flash of the lights to Bearing saying, look, I'm after Wilson. I've got a chance at the top 3 here. I can't let him get away. And this, a real underdog spirit being showcased here by Sherwood. You see as well, Wilson, same tactics. It has separated them finally. What's Sherwood got in reply? He closed this gap up from a further away distance once before. He could do it again, surely. Meanwhile, back to this 3. That are still as close as you like. And just keeping up with chat. The Fidas, I believe that's how you say that one, over on Twitch. Sucks to have hit the sausage like that. Was so hopeful for a podium once. Good luck, Dan and Thomas. And Olympus Craven saying Thomas Cope making good progress. He is. He in fact is ahead of Cullen. Incidentally, that had So Cullen came off track. He's had a bit of a moment, has Ben Cullen. In fact, he's had 2 in 1 lap. Let's take a little look exactly what's happened to him. Oh, that's why. That's why he's made up all that time, and that's why he's caught him up. There goes the Olympus. At 64 of Cope. Then he comes off track again, apparently, shortly after that. No, it's all part of the rejoin. Well, Bearing's just catching that sausage curve, just getting up on 2 wheels. People starting to encroach on it a little bit. At the moment, just the about 3 Mataris at McCurrick for DCW has retired the Corvette in GT3. Also, Pollock and Van der Voort lost those 2 on lap 5 from LMP to Pro-Am and GTP respectively. Right, it's Emil Koopman's heading on by. That's your leader in a LMP2 Pro. Got there in the end. Around the houses with every category going. And that slides on by. It's got a 7.4 seconds lead over second place in LMP2 overall, which is Willoughby, who leads Pro-Am, incidentally. Williams second in Pro at the moment, but well down on him. Looking at some round about 12 seconds, the gap between those 2. They're still not going away, very much so. As we've got a bit of a fight on once more, and well, they're catching up, and there's traffic playing a part of this story. In the fight for the lead of LMP2 Pro. Now, Acklam qualified at the top of Pro-Am, but Willoughby has passed him during the race at the start. Acklam not having the best race start, but he's come back and he's recovered well as the privateer. They've gone going past this battle. Well, finally it's going to separate them up. Bearings, Lever and Sharples. Those gaps 1 lap ago were around about 3/4 tenths of a second as Willoughby lunges it in there. Bearings runs wide. Acklam compromised of entry there into Europa car. In hot pursuit of Willoughby, but he's 1.2 seconds up the road now. That's what the gap is. As Tilling very, very early on for Tiki Simsport Toa, and that's taking tyres as well. Also Barker in an LMP2 as well. We're nearly at halfway stage, but still feels quite early on for those 2. Certainly for the length of time the GT3s can go. LMP2s. Wilson just setting personal best lap last time around in GTP. Barker going to fall well down the order. Let's talk about GT3 Pro. Jacko Taylor put it on pole. And now 4.4 seconds the advantage. The Kellen Daniels, who just saw of DDK by Eagle Sport Academy. A Porsche 123 at the moment in GT3 Pro. Down into Pro-Am though, and well, Bearings still lead that, and Lever has caught up, despite traffic really separating them. He's caught up at the rate of 6 tenths in the last lap alone. So head down the back straight. Still as close as you like between these 2. Won't leave each other alone. Tilling and oh, this is close. The 2 Tiki Simsport Corvette and the Wrong Stuff Corvette. Well, Davis in the end had to yield. What was going to be looked like almost a mammoth collision. Tilling not hanging around. He's got time to make up, trying to produce the undercut on the rest of the GT3 field. Will it work though? It feels too early. It wouldn't be the first time that I've been wrong, would it? As once more, this is closed up between Willoughby and Acklam. There he is, just behind that private CS7 LMP2 Pro-Am car. Iconic car livery. Let's say car-free then. Got food on the brain. Again, Willoughby playing the traffic, using that Team Potato Corvette as the pick, just to separate them out. In fact, that would have been... I'm trying to think which one that would have been. It wouldn't have been Windsor, would it? No. Been Anstis, who has been into the pits. That's why he's looking a little bit out of place at the moment. Oh wow, what are your predictions? I'd love to know over in chat. Both on YouTube. YouTube very quiet this evening. Normally it's all about the YouTube chat, but tonight it's all about Twitch. I don't know. You have one person come along and he gets everyone chatting. Naming no names. Naming no names whatsoever. They're great to have you all on board watching, and also the many of you, the hundreds in fact, that watch our post-race. And I don't say that as just it scraped 200, no. About 400 or 500 views each of these races get. Great way to advertise your brand. If you want to get it out there to the masses. Well, it used to be just purely a UK-based drivers and viewership. It's growing. It's become a transcontinental affair, nearly. Certainly transnational affair. Joel Dutton in the Kaiser Racing Audi, the 13 in. That's been in the wars a little bit. Had a struggling time in qualifying. Law on the recovery, though. That is the UKSR Ferrari in front of us at the moment. But for how much longer, I do have to wonder. On board with the law. He's looking, he's thinking, can he get the move done? He asked questions up the inside there. And went for the inside move where couldn't quite get it done. Like Bamba did right round the outside. Oh, dancing on the AstroTurf on the outside of campus. Has a lunge. Will he get it done? Has he run it in too deep? Acklam says, yes, you have, and slots back up the inside, but Alul keeps it pinned. He's got the traction off the corner and won the effect. GCP's trying to slot and slide his way through. Well, just about makes it through. And that would have been, I believe, Ben Cullen, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't have been. So that must have been Campbell. I don't know. Either way, incredibly close between those two. But they've got Wilson and Sherwood coming up behind. Well, there's Wilson. Sherwood has just dropped off. And that's gutting because Sherwood was, well, he got a chance of getting on the podium. Never say never, still with a chance, but you never quite know, do you? But Alul is ahead of Connolly. As into the pits comes your leaders in LMP2 Pro-Am, incidentally. There's Koopmans. Acklam carries on. There is Willoughby. So Acklam already, well, he's cleared off. He's down pit exit. Lauren Jessica saying, let's go Nathan. Well, that could be one of a few, really, couldn't it? Could be Nathan Willoughby. Could be Nathan Law. Who's your favourite Nathan? I mean, that's a poll and a half, isn't it? As Acklam carries on, how much longer before he will pit? incidentally, so Willoughby heads out. Bamber now heading down pit road. A real high of activity in the pits in LMP2. So it's Acklam, Williams and Collicott all yet to pit. Synchronicity once again from effect. Also Barker. He came in a little bit early. He came in about 4 laps ago compared to these guys. Sharples up to the back of Lever now, who... Bearings has just maybe managed to open out that bit of a gap. Again, traffic definitely playing a part of the story here tonight from Barcelona. Sharples really needing to start to ask some of the questions as Acklam's into the pits. Williams carries on by. Right. Where is Willoughby? That's the big question. Well, Willoughby was a whole second slower down pit road compared to Koopmans. Just being held up by one of the sister effect. That's the one of the GTPs, isn't it? That is the Triple 5 of Campbell. Currently surrounding second overall at the moment. So there's Willoughby. Acklam heading out of the pits. Right, this is going to be a race down pit lane. Who's going to get there first? There's Acklam. And there's Willoughby to driver's left. And will he sweep round the outside under braking? Yes, he will, to reclaim the lead in LMP2 Pro-Am. Or will he? Because Acklam is already up to speed and getting going here. Of course, this will be provisionally. Collicott yet to stop. The only him and Williams, the only drivers yet to stop. It's only two lead drivers at the moment until their subcategories in LMP2. And it's time for Acklam to ask questions once more. So we're stopped for a whole second less compared to Willoughby. I had nearly 2 seconds less time down pit road to Acklam, so must have got hold up a bit in traffic. Williams in the privateer from the lead. Surely, well, Koopmans will resume the lead over that one, but just back to this battle. As we head into the second half of the race, let's have a run for your top 3 very quickly. Thompson leads at the moment overall. There he is by a whopping 15 seconds. Over the effect duo of Campbell. There he is in the Triple 5, who is some 8 seconds himself ahead of, well, you see just the battling LMP2s there in Pro-Am in the background of Wilson, who's pretty much nearly half the pit start-finish rates behind his teammates. At the moment in LMP2 Pro-Am, Collicott does leave, but he's still yet to stop. As Koopmans leads that pro category. Wilson, oh, he's into the pits once more. Has he had a bit of an incident somewhere? I do wonder. That's looking very, very stationary. I will have a little look at that for you. Yeah, I think that's had an incident somewhere because it's still stationary. Not that I can see. Having said that, it's left the pit lanes and it's come back in again. Either way, guaranteed of a top 3 finish in LMP2 Pro, as there's only 3 runners this evening. So, you know, got to take these opportunities when they come to you. Let's head down into GT3 at the moment. I still need to sort this one out a little bit. Jacko Taylor has been so dominant. I mean, this guy deserves to win this round. Top in qualifying. He's led every lap so far. The fastest best lap, I believe, as well in GT3. And actually, yeah, by some sizable margin. 2 tenths over Rupert Bearings, who's second. And yes, I'm just scanning down through. It's one of 3 drivers who have their best laps in the 142s. Taylor, Bearings, who incidentally leads Pro-Am at the moment. The other driver is Casper Brockner of Old Dues and Cards. to keep half an eye out for the Danish driver. To mention, as Thompson into the pits, so cannot go the full race distance this time. So bearings, we've got a Lever who's just falling behind, and see Sharples, the top three quite close together there. It's getting very close, though, further down through the field. More for overall positions in GT3, as that is Daniels, who we mentioned about one of the drivers who has stopped. Getting by John Watt just about, well, that is close, and Tilling not far behind. He'll want to clear Watt very, very quickly to get that Corvette on by. On board with the Tiki Sim Sport Toa Corvette, pulls out to drivers right. Has he got enough speed down the start-finish straight? That Porsche is getting a tow from Watt ahead. Sorry, from Daniels ahead, but he slots it up the inside on them. I think there's contact. I think there's contact there down into turn one. Tilling gets the move done. He can still stay in the fight. Brockner not far ahead. He has got Daniel still hot on his tail. With that little DCW LMP2 traffic coming on by, squeezing its way through. Both the Porsches run wide there. Off of the corner exit. Looking back from Brockner. Bouncing across the curbs. It's a fight for third place, although Alul has yet to stop, who's running second in GT3 Pro. The Frenchman in the 38 Mercedes. As also the top three as well, now disrupted in Pro-Am. That's Lever heading down the pit lane. That is Cope in the Olympus Atlas Acura just heading out in foreground of shot. Alul in as well. We have got a bit of a race on our hands here. It all shapes up. Certainly impending at the moment. Well, not impending. It's here and it's live. It's what is now the battle for second in a GT3. Old Deucing Cars Porsche, then the DDK by Eagle Speed Academy Porsche, and then the Tiki Sim Sport Corvette of Brockner, Daniels and Tilling respectively. 3 cars, 2 places on the podium. One person's going to lose out here. As Tilling looking to disrupt that Porsche dominance of the podium in GT3 Pro. It's been pretty much all season, but also certainly tonight they've occupied those top 3 spots. Still as Cullen into the pits, Collicott in, and your leader in GT3 there, he is heading down pit road. Into the pits goes Jacko Taylor. What could Mal mean? There we go, your leader in GT3 Pro-Am as well. Ruben Bearings, Darren Sharples follows him in too. No, he carries on by, apologies. So he assumes the overall in GT3 lead at the moment. Conley carries on by, so at the moment we're going to have 2 Pro-Am drivers at the top of GT3 overall. Well, I say that, actually, Jacko Taylor comes out, and that's one of the Chiefs. That's Cullen just trying to stay behind him. He's got to stay within that white line, otherwise gets done for a pit exit infringement. Talking of pit lanes, in comes that Cadillac. The ProTech Cadillac Corvette. Thompson's just set the fastest Sector 2 of anyone at the moment. This still not going away. Tilling has dropped off a little bit, but Brockner and Daniels, it's still game on between the old Deucing Cars and the DDK Porsche. A bit of dirt being kicked up there, and again, it's LMP2 playing the story in this battle. Once more down at Saya. And all three of these drivers have pitted. They're good to go to the end of the race, and it's sloppy on the exit by Brockner. That 11 old dudes in cars, Porsche. Just losing a bit of momentary concentration. And Tilly's still onto the tail of these drivers. You can't discredit him. He's still within a shout. He's still in this fight. But who will reclaim it? Who's going to get two of these three positions? As Sharples and Conley head there into the pits as well. As Cullen into the pits again. Oh no, it's Wilson just getting down pit road. So he's actually the last. Actually, no, what wins are Tim Potato in that Corvette, the 812 Corvette. That is the last car to pit. Wilson looking to hopefully try and shrink some of that gap between himself and Connolly. Sorry, Connolly, the next driver I was heading to. Apologies. Campbell even. But it's getting closer. This battle. It's getting closer. It's a second covering them. Thompson trying to pick his way through the lot of them at the moment. Not easy as once was for the top class in endurance racing, in sports cars, to get on by these. Well, certainly not the LMP2s, but even the GT3s to an extent. You had a deployable boost, electric boost, that you had in the LMP ones. You could utilize at any point. Whereas here, you stipulated it'll just apply it with the accelerator. It'll aid the ice. Something I could do with tonight. It is boiling here in commentary HQ. I can tell you that for a fact. So really, Cullen just coming through a bit of traffic once more. He moves one place overall, but it's passing out on P2. It's another lap, and well, we've 14 minutes even left on the clock. This is getting into the rounds of, well, you need to stop asking questions. Whoa, 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 whoa. Brockner has a moment. He holds on to it, but he falls off the podium in doing so. What a save by Brockner. Just clearly unsighted a bit there. Let's look down and, well, just lost a bit of traction all the way, of course, in the rear. These cars, in the Porsche 911s even, you know, of course, with it being in the boot, the engine, they move it quite as far forward as they possibly can to aid traction and cornering ability, but a real feat of engineering. It's changing around once more between these two, leather and bearings. You battle for the lead in GT3 Pro-Am. This gets a bit scrappy. They've had a bit of a battle. Let's take a look at what happened here. Oh, that's Sherwood. Oh, a contact and sent spinning around the Protect Cadillac. Well, let's take another look from a different angle of that one. I'm just going to try and press a lot of buttons here right now as they all made their way through relatively safely. There came the Cadillac. Look in those rear view mirrors and, wow, just couldn't get the power down like the GT3s could. Well, It's like a pair of hyenas that went scampering off there after taking a nil at their prey. Has brought Sharples back into the equation. You can just snake up the old Doos in Cars 777 Porsche in the background there. Top three, fully in contention here at the moment. I'll tell you with Brockner, he's still in that fight, just. But more so with Tilling, who's fallen some nearly 2 seconds behind Daniels. As for what's happening at the front end of LMP2 Pro-Am, just keeping half an eye. Let's have a little look at that one, because will it be his? Well, it's got a sister GCP in between himself and Acklam, the former Ben Cullen, who stopped late and really showcasing around here that for the GTPs how hard it is for them to get past the LMP2s. Only when it's your teammate and they're battling for the victory. Hey, boys. Oh, squeeze there. The UKSR Lamborghini has a look at the inside, bounces across the curves, but needs to be careful because here comes the old Doos in Cars Porsche that's gonna slipstream its way down the start-finish straight and pull out to driver's right, and surely this is going to be Sharples up into second. It looked like Lever going for the lead, but it's Sharples into second, into turn one. Or is it Lever trying to keep his nose in there, but the Lamborghini can't quite fight back. Sharples is through, and for the first time this evening, he's up into a second, but Lever wants to be ahead of the bearings. A bit of a change around there between the two Olympus cars, but they... Oh, shit. Oh, that was a mad panic. I believe you've all stayed with me. My internet just went, nope. Has it stayed with me? I'm praying it is. Yes, it has. Thank goodness. Wow. Heart in mouth moment. Not because of the racing. My internet just going, bloody hell, it's hot here. And can't cope up with things. Right. Panic averted. Let's take a look back to this battle that's still looming large. The battle for in GT3 Pro, that has sort of gone away. It's more about GT3 Pro-Am, the bearing Sharples Lever dynamic. Apologies about my swearing. Apologies. Luckily, this broadcast is marked for mature audiences, and with my foul mouth panic there, when I looked across and saw, oh, you got no internet. No, we're all right. We're okay. Apologies about my language. Oh, well. Right, into a happy place. For some, maybe not others. Sharples is looking so aggressive right now. On board in the 777 Old Doos in Cars Porsche. He's got a chance of the win here, and he wants it really badly. Bearing's life is, well, being made to be miserable. That DCW blue Lamborghini, they're taking a lot of that curb. Sharples more than anyone. That's how hard he's pushing. You look at the rear view camera right now, and you can just about make out Lever. He's staying in the fight. I think he's allowing Sharples to attack bearings and hoping something's going to happen here. He's got one of the Effect Simulation Club Sport LMP2s. That will be, of course, our leader in LMP2. Hang on by Emil Koopmans in the 911. Bearing's just giving that little bit of a respite. It's also getting closer into Olympus cars up in GTP. Let's have a look at that right now. 2 tenths. Sedgley leads Cope, and that's the, well, in terms of the championship standings, I think that's the way that round that they would like to have it. Certainly Sedgley would. But up into third now. Of course, Sherwood had that spin, didn't he? While trying to clear some GT3 traffic. Namely Bearings and Sharples, but yeah, that's not going to really change around too much. Battling GT3 Pro. It's all about GT3 Pro-Am this evening, and Cranley Swash still ahead of Connolly. These two have been embroiled in pretty much a race-long battle that has not gone away. Well, pretty much. Oh, Sherwood's had another. I don't know. He's had an instant. Let's take a little look. What's happened to him? And that is, well, tyres gone. Too much pace, pushing too hard. Either way, it's all gone wrong for him. And Cranley Swash really, well, so he's got no chance of catching the top 3 bar, them collecting one another and falling off the track and bring this fight into them. The best thing he can hope for now is Sharples gets ahead of Bearings. That is the best outcome he could hope for, and that he stays ahead of Connolly. Contrary to what anyone says, that Ferrari just sounds nowhere near as good as its predecessors. But that's just personal opinion. Sharples just dropping time to Bearings now, 1.3 seconds the gap. Leather still remaining in the shout though. He needs to be there as well. We have got less than 5 minutes remaining. I look up at the clock and it's like, where has that time gone? As Sharples' connection drops out. Oh no. And it's not mine this time. He's back. There we go. But he needs to close this gap down, and he's running out of time fast. Yeah, and that's looking ropey. Oh, that's going to be a worry to Leather. It's never a comfortable time trying to get past someone who's blinking in and out. Leather now lying second in the championship. Needs to ask himself, and he needs to find the answer to it quickly. Can Sharples attack Bearings? If he can't, I need to close it quickly to Sharples and get past him. But can he? Also coming close towards the end is the battle for the lead in LMP2 Pro-Am. Willoughby versus Acklam, 8 tenths of a second. But as I said, we've got 3 minutes left on the clock. Where is our leader? Well, we've got this current lap for the leader, which they are behind him, plus 2 more by my calculations. And that could be close, and it's going to go an extra lap here. Fuel will play a part of this. Absolutely. There's Cullen, who's dropped. You see him in the background there. He has dropped behind these two. He's obviously allowed them to go on and fight. It's the right sporting thing to do. Certainly for us here at home, watching along. Keeping half an eye on the battles that are happening further down through the field as well. This one panning out ever so slightly. If anything, Cranley Swash has eked it out to a second over Connolly in GT3 Pro-Am that we're watching previously. Ford versus Ferrari. Lovely little battle there. Bit of history being played out. So we are down to within 2 minutes left Sharples is closing in. Leather falling by the wayside. As Leather just, well, prays to the racing gods that Sharples can get on by Ruben Bearings. There we go, looking back from the DCW Lamborghini. Heading through Renault for what could it be the penultimate time here? Yes, I can tell you now that when Thompson crosses the line, which is not too far away from doing so. Oh, big twitch there, big moment. This is Sharple's chance here to get on by. As Bearings has a big moment there through Sayat. Down to Worth. What have you got within you here, Sharples? The clock is running out. It's also Willoughby and Acklam getting close, so close here. As they take white flag, there's one to go for them. But that's Cullen heading on past, and oh, that's not what Acklam would have wanted. Collicott's crash, we'll come to that later. Sharples, though. These guys not far away from starting their final lap. Just 2 corners left. Europa and New Holland on their penultimate lap. This white flag's going to be in the air. On board with Sharples. As that's Jack Barker going past in the LMP2. And that's going to slow up Bearings just at the moment of apex. And here we go. This is it. This is all or nothing now for Sharples. He needs to stay close. He's got a big opportunity coming on the run down to Repsol. Can he sling it up the inside casually? He's a bit too far back. Lukács is the next big opportunity. Probably the only big opportunity left on this lap for the 777 Old Dudes in Cars Porsche. And there's only 3 attempts between them. Conley's, interestingly, he's closed up to the same sort of margin that we've got between these two. But this is for the battle for the victory here. As Thompson's won this one, missed him out completely. Koopman's done the same thing. But let's back to these guys. Jacko Taylor about to cross the line. We'll pick him up with a weave and a flash of the cross the lights, but there's still 3 attempts between these guys, and there's a quarter of a lap remaining, and they've got traffic in GT3 in front of them. That is Brockner, I believe, but I think Bearings might have done enough for this. He might just be able to hold on, but it's Brockner. It is from Old Dudes in Cars. Will he deliberately so? Will he try and play in the team part? There's an Olympus car behind them. That is Sedgley. But Bearings might have done enough here. What's Sharples got out the final corner? The run to the line, I don't think it's going to be enough. The flash of the lights. And Bearings holds on to GT3 Pro-Am victory by 3/100ths of a second. So 3/10ths of a second. And I think the Mustang of Fancy Sports will beat the UKSR Ferrari. Yes, they will. It all came together, a flurry of activity right at the end there. Wow. An internet drop with a swear word in the middle, a sneeze, and a brilliant finish. What else do you need from your Sunday night iRacing broadcast? Well, not a lot, really. I think it's that. I'll tell you what, I am absolutely baked right now. It is hot, and hopefully, I've had a look at the long range forecast. In real life, it's definitely going to be cooler in IRL. That is for definite. Thank you very much, everyone. Which chat? James Cockram. Let's take. I'll tell you what. I need to have a little bit of a look back to what happened to Mark Collicott in the final stages. Take a look what happened to him. He had a big moment. Had to head to the pits because of this one. Ooh, just lost the rear end all by himself. Just snapped on him. Shifting down too quickly. Right, let's have a little look at some results, shall we? Well, there we go. We got them. Patrick Thompson, the winner by a commanding 23 seconds in the end. Austin Willie Campbell in second place with Wilson providing 2 effect casts on the podium. Essentially, it seemed as though this guy started right from the back. And when I say from the back, not just from the back of GTP, but from the back of the field. Had to clear everyone. Himself and Cope did really well to recover up to 4th. And also, be within that time distance of Wilson of 28 seconds. It's a real remarkable achievement. Thomas Cope coming home in 5th for Olympus. Emil Koopmans beating 2, technically 3 in the end due to 1 retirement GTPs. Good result for the Effect Club Sport driver, pretty much surely cementing his championship hopefuls in LMP2 Pro. Sherwood for ProTech, 1 lap down in the end. Willoughby picking up that win. I tell you what, he was pushed all the way to the end by James Ackland, who secures himself just inside the top 10 with 10th position. Cullen in 9th. John Williams, a privateer. Of course, on the podium by default in LMP2 Pro, just only being 2 entries, the other one being Bamba, who retired the car back on lap 22. Jack Barker on the podium once more in Pro-Am with 12th overall. Then it was Collicott we saw retire near the end. Jacko Taylor, congratulations to him, a massive victory here today for the Tiki Simsport Copa Porsche. Kevin Daniels in the end. I thought himself and Tilling was going to be really close towards the end. Proved not to be. Likewise with Brockman just falling by the wayside and removing himself from the podium in GT3 Pro. Ruben Bearings, he picked up that victory in GT3 Pro, but it came all the way down to the wire. Sharples just narrowly missing out and finishing in 2nd and 11th with that big moment on the curbs. It's what seemed to cost him and had no pace realistically after that when Sharples got on by, but secures himself a place on the podium and inside the top 20. In 21st overall, it was Nathan Alol with Sean Cranley-Swatch just keeping ahead of Connolly by half a second there towards the line. Became 5th in class, 22nd overall. Connolly just behind him in 23rd. Then it was Watt, Windsor, Davis, Hartley and Anstis for into the retirements. Bamba, who we lost lap, are back on lap 22. Dutton in lap 17. McGurrick on lap 11. And then lap 5 costs Pollock and Van der Voors. 1 retirement from each class, incidentally. GCP, LMP2 Pro and Pro-Am, GT3 Pro and Pro-Am. I mean, talk about sharing it amongst everyone. What we like to see. We'll have a bit of a chat to some of the drivers very, very shortly while I sort myself out here. A few different screens. What a day it's been. What a day it has been. And who have we got sat standing by, waiting to have a chat? Oh, there's a few of them. Thank goodness for that one. It's never good when you sat there by yourself. You know what I mean. Right, let's have a chat to, who are we going to pick out first? We're going to go, no, yeah. Instance there. Let's slow this down a little bit. And first off, who are we going to pick out? I know, let's pick out our race winner. Always a good one in LMP2 Pro. And, well, drag him on down. And if I change into the right thingy job as well. There we go. There we go. Ugh, no, don't want that. Go away. Right, yeah, as you can see, Emil Koopmans, you will be up first. And, well, if I take myself off definite mute, he'll be able to hear me and we'll be happy. That's for certain. Emil, congratulations. Another win. It feels like we seem to be saying this about you every single week, but just dominant. Oh, so dominant today. Did it feel like it was going to be that way? I mean, the Pro-Am drivers, yeah, both Willoughby and Acklam really pushed you in qualifying. It wasn't a comfortable ride, as what the result books will show walking away from this one. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna just interrupt you very quickly because for some reason Discord audio is not picking it up. Bear with me one moment, and my love. Excuse me one moment, viewers. Let's see if we can hear you now. No, I can hear you. Okay. Everyone at home can't hear you.
Oh.
Which is always reassuring. Right, let's sort this one out. Working. Oh, that you just love technology when you think, oh, it's going to work. It's going to come through okay. Let's try changing that to... I know. Oh, hold on. I've got this sorted. I know what I'm doing. Supposedly. Supposedly. I mean, you can hear. None of you would be able to hear Neil mocking me in the background. While we sat here, you're look at me like doing ever the consummate professional thing here of looking at all my different screens. There we go. I think hopefully. Want us to try speaking now? No. It's not working. It's not. One moment. I've broken this in true, in real good form. Bear with me one moment. I've already had one expletive during the broadcast, so we could have been on for 2 at this rate. Right. One moment, viewers. Let's. I'm going to throw to a different screen while I try. Actually, no. Yeah, we're going to try and fix this. Let's try this way. Let's go delete. Let's just bit of maintenance on the fly. I could tell you that while we're waiting, this is going to really. I think this pretty much extends. Well, it does extend Emil's championship standings lead, and well, okay. Now, I think.
You think you sorted it?
I've lost where. There we go. Do you want to try speaking now?
Okay, does it work?
Yeah, there we go. We can hear you now. Ooh. Thank goodness. Got there in the end. Don't look too much of a fool, although I'm pretty good at doing that myself anyway. Yeah, Emil. Okay, so what were we saying originally? Yeah, qualifying wasn't easy, was it? Bearing in mind what the results in the history books will show with a commanding race win. How much were you worried in qualifying?
Actually, quite a bit. I did my first run and I was P2, P3. Yes. And I saw, I think, who was it? Was it James? Who had a really quick lap?
Well, yeah, James. Like and Nathan wasn't far behind either, realistically.
No, exactly. So then I went out for my second lap and I was just like, all in. And it was not the cleanest lap, but it felt good. And luckily I got pole position with that. So I did not expect that at the start of my second stint, but it went well.
It did, and traffic definitely seems to play a part of the story out there. I mean, it's always a great way to lose and gain time in multi-class racing and making your way through it. But this week, it seemed to be like quite a few other drivers having to take more of a gamble than what you tend to see at other tracks.
This track looks good on paper, but I don't think it works too well for multi-class. Traffic is really horrendous here. I've done a couple of IMSA races. Yesterday also did the IMSA Endurance. And there's so many corners where you just do not want to catch the GT3s, and there's just no good way of solving it. So it plays a really big part of it. That's also why my strategy was try to build up a little bit of a gap, so I had some safety margin, so I could pass the GT3 safer. And I think that worked well, and perhaps I was a little bit lucky because during the traffic, my lead actually grew to, I think, 10 seconds. So
yes.
Definitely
all worked out well. Of course, 1 week time, head to Le Mans. A lot easier to pass the traffic on that round there, in contrast. But 90 minutes poses a bit different strategies. And also a lot of, full throttle around there. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you won't want to give away too much of your strategy, but do you think maybe it could be looking at potentially 2 stops around there?
To be honest, I haven't really had a look at the strategy for Le Mans yet. But the only thing is, it's most likely gonna rain, right? So
Well, yeah, well, we all thought it was going to rain at Motorsport. I was saying in the build-up, and
yeah,
that was dry as a bone. So, I mean, work that one out. I think we'll just have to play it by ear, whatever happens when we arrive there.
well, fingers crossed it's going to be dry because I'm not too good at Le Mans and especially not in the wet. So I really hope it's going to be a dry race. But I'll have a look at this week
Definitely
to see what strategy we're going to do.
Definitely. Well, congratulations, Emil
Thank
Koopmans.
you.
Once again, race winner in LMP2 Pro. Let's have well, should we stick with, we'll move across into GTP now. There we go. Slightly smoother than what we had in the build-up. Patrick Tunson joins us now. Patrick, congratulations. I mean, the confidence, first of all, in qualifying, one run, done. Go and beat that, boys. I'm not coming out again. That's me done. I mean, did it feel just like one of those laps where just everything just came together perfectly and you couldn't do any better than that?
I think for me, I mean, looking at my optim, I haven't had tons of practice coming into this. As per usual, it's something, you know, do the laps I can do during the week because I'm focusing mainly on trying to prepare for the Porsche Cup qualifiers. So it just like it went all purple everywhere, and it didn't feel like the lap had any, you know, bigger mistakes. When I say bigger mistakes, you know, we're talking maybe a 10th loss or something. I was like, okay, sure, maybe there's a small bit here and there, but this lap feels pretty on it. So I wouldn't say confident, but I was pretty sure I put in a lap that would at least put me in the front end.
Definitely. And well, from there, I mean, an absolute massive commanding victory in the end. Was it just a bit of traffic just played your way and it seemed to go your way more often than not, or is there anything else you can really attribute to it?
Well, I think I wouldn't say I had bad luck with traffic. I think the traffic served me quite nicely. But you know, keeping an eye on the gap throughout the most of the race, it didn't look like it was traffic that really made the big difference between me and the guys behind. It stayed, you know, true traffic. It stayed pretty much the same. It went up a little bit and then back down whenever someone got traffic in a certain spot. But I think overall, I had a slightly better per lap pace than what the others had tonight, and that was what, you know, eventually just increased my my lead.
Well, definitely. Well, I mean, congratulations, another win in the bag for you. Good luck for Le Mans in a week's time.
Thank you very much.
And no problem, Patrick Thompson, your race winner there today. Let's see if we can. I'll see if he unmutes himself, and we'll move down into LMP2 Pro-Am. There you go, he's unmuted himself. He's clearly feeling like he wants to talk to me, and well, rightly so. Race winner, but I mean, it was getting close towards the end there, wasn't it, Nathan Willoughby? Very close indeed. I mean, James Acklam, he really ran you hard.
He did, yeah, and he done it all race as well. So you know, shout out to him because he was on it, and he proved that, you know, with his quali time as well. So yeah, mega pace from him.
I mean, talking of which, you know, we saw him banging that time, and then, you know, very early in the race, I think it was the first lap, was it, that you made your way past him? That must have been a bit of a weight lifted from your shoulders. I know you still got that whole race left to go, pretty much, but the fact that you're already ahead, it was advantage towards you, and he had to do the hard work to get past.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, the start of that race, I used Emil to sort of tow me along as well, so I had that advantage as well. So. But yeah, making that pass into T1 was pretty crucial, to be honest. So.
And well, obviously Le Mans a week away. We expecting another effect win, a double win in LMP2, or I mean, surely, I mean, the way James has been banging in those quali times and such a draft track, I imagine it's probably not going to be as easy next week as compared to what it was this week. Not that it was exactly easy this week.
No, for sure. So Effect loves Le Mans, so I think we'll be ready for it. So
definitely
expect a good result. So.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Expect a good result. Congratulations, Nathan Willoughby there, your winner in LMP2 Pro-Am. Let's move down into GT3. No, we can't complete the set here because there's no Jacko Taylor at the moment. If someone's grabbed hold of him and sling him into the interview rating room, then go for it. In the meantime, I don't even know I've clicked on Jacko because that's preemptive and me talking about him and my brain not working. There we go, we've got there in the end. Ruben Bearings, winner. Just about, with a bit of a crash and a bang in the background. Winner in GT3 Pro-Am. But, I mean, well, that could have... I mean, you could have finished first, second or third at any given moment. You seem to have a target on your back for... certainly after the pit stops had happened. And even then, before then, really.
Yeah, it was a really hard race. I think I liked a bit of pace. The start I could hold with the pro drivers, but then I fell back a bit. And yeah, then the struggles began.
It did, and I mean, coming into those final couple of laps, it must have got harder and harder. I mean, when you saw Alan Lever drop off a bit from the back of you, I mean, was that easier in some ways because, right, that's one less that I've got to worry about now? But was it harder because that meant that Darren Sharples had just got his full attention on you?
Oh yeah, it was. It still was pretty hard because battling with the ladder was like he forced me into a few mistakes.
Yes,
but,
yeah, we saw quite a few. We saw them. Don't you worry.
Yeah. And yeah, then when ladder fell back a bit. Then Sharples was gaining a bit on me. But yeah, I just keep my head down, keep it clean, and finish the race.
Oh, definitely. Well, it worked out all right in the end. I mean, you've got to be really happy. I mean, it was the best possible result, coming into this, final round. You finished ahead of, realistically, your two main rivals, both Alan Lever and Sean Cranley Swash. I mean, just to stick with them and finish in those top three. I mean, realistically, I think that's going to be enough just to secure the championship victory, or are you still going to go for the win regardless and just whatever happens?
Yeah. Never know. Next week it's Le Mans in the rain. I don't have much experience in the rain with the Lamborghini yet, so it could get a bit spicy, and the championship is pretty much alive still, I think.
Well, yeah, we shall see. We shall see indeed. Well, good luck for that one, and we'll see you in a week's time.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. Ruben Bearings there. Well, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. What a. Let's go back. Let's get this screen up. No, that's the one we want. We got there in the end. Well, we survived an internet outage. We've a sneeze. Some epic battles once again. GT3, I mean, that's just got better. Certainly Pro-Am has got better and better as the season has gone on. Yeah, coming out of round one at Daytona, I thought, okay, it's going to be a bit of a boring class, this. I don't think much happened. How wrong was I? And really happy that I was wrong. Absolutely loving GT3 right now, and that could go any way. Congratulations to Jacko Taylor, who's not side dropping despite his win. I mean, again, that guy's just oh so dominant. Tiki at the front end of GT3. I think they've won every single round so far in GT3. I'll double check my notebook on that one. I'll let you know in a week's time. When, of course, we head to Le Mans, the home of multi-class racing, the home of endurance racing, the home of speed. I love that place. And it's going to be epic. Thank you very much for joining me. I've been Tim Cox. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, YouTube and Twitch. Everyone who's watched along. Everyone who's going to watch along as well. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz that the YouTubers do that I'm too old to fiddle around with. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you in a week's time, live from Le Mans for the season finale. See you then. Goodbye.